for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Souma and I'm the host at webinar today. Indeed, Indeed is one of absolute best option for software developers in Japan. Today, we are presenting Indeed Japan Campus Recording 2023, presented by Mr. Kenrik Satrio Saputra, Mr. Marsan Ma, and Mr. Ninoy Kait. Just a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any question during the presentation, please type them into the question box in your Zoom control panel. I will bring them up during the presentation and we will also have time for questions at the end. Now we will turn the time over to Mr. Kendrick, Mr. Marsan, and Mr. Ninoy. Time is yours.
All right. Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear me. If you cannot, please let us know in the chat. But welcome to Indeed Japan. Today, we'd like to introduce to you a little bit about our company, a little bit about our environment and just life in Japan. So let's begin. But first, we'd like to start by showing you a video about what life is like inside Indeed, just so that you can get an understanding of what our company is like. So let me play the video. All right, so that was just a quick video about Indeed. And as you can see, we're a very international company. We have various offices across the world. And one of them is in Tokyo, our Indeed Japan. And that's what we're going to talk to you a little bit about today. So here is our agenda. The first, we're going to start to talk about, Indeed, our company mission, and a quick overview of our company and what it's like in our engineering space. Then, as mentioned, you'll be able to hear a little bit more about different roles that we have from Kenrick and Marsan. They'll be sharing a little bit about their experience and what they're doing at Indeed. And then we'll finish up to discuss about the opportunities that we have, what our application process looks like, and just a little preview of what life is like at Indeed. And then at the end of the presentation, we'll be able to answer any questions that you have. All right, so let's start by looking at about Indeed company mission and structure. So we have one very simple mission. It's we help people get jobs. That's the very heart of our mission. We live it every day. And as an engineer, or whether you're in marketing or sales, everyone follows this mission, helping people get jobs through our site. So what is Indeed? So Indeed is a search engine dedicated for jobs. And in fact, Indeed is the #1 job site worldwide. So, when you search for jobs and you want to know a place to look for jobs, Indeed would be the #1 site. So let's look at some of our, website. So here is the website for Indeed Japan. I know it's in Japanese. We do have an English site as well, but our site is very simple, just like our mission. We want to help people get jobs. All you need to do is, type the job you're looking for and the location that you want to work in, and a big number of jobs will come for you to, for you to look at and to apply for. So this is just what our Japan site looks like, but we have, Indeed across different countries. Just a little bit of information about our website. So we are the #1 job site in the world. We do operate in 60 countries and 28 languages, and we have more than 250 million unique visitors monthly. And in our site, we list 20 million jobs, and it's growing every day, every year, as many of our clients continue to join Indeed and offer out their jobs to the world. So these are just a few fun facts about our company. So here, as mentioned, we are a global company. We do have many offices around the world. As you can see, we have, in every continent, we do have an office. Austin, Texas is our headquarters. So if you see here in Texas, it is our headquarters where everything began. But in Tokyo and Japan, we have 2 offices. And then specifically for the engineering offices, we have 9 offices, excuse me, around the world. One of them is in Tokyo, and that's what we're going to be talking about. We are looking for talented individuals such as yourselves to join our engineering team. So we hope that you'd be interested in applying. So next, I'm going to quickly kind of go over what our engineering team and environment looks like from 3 different perspectives. We're going to look at it in team's perspective, product's perspective, and the individual such as yourself. And let's look at that next. So teams. Indeed is actually a very team-based organization. We really value teamwork, not just big teams, but actually small teams where you can get to know your peers, work well together. And the main focus is being data-driven to iterate rapidly and to deliver with quality. And you'll be working with a bunch of intelligent individuals, making that happen. From a team perspective, we have, in the engineering side, we have small focus teams. We have 1 engineering manager, 2 to 7 software engineers, a product manager, a QA engineer, and a program manager. This all falls under 1 team across the different departments in Indeed. So you'll expect to be part of one of these teams and working on projects to deliver our goal. And so this is what the team kind of dynamic looks like. The next part of engineering is the products. So let's go a little bit about the products that, that we work on. So we work on products that are fast, simple, comprehensive, relevant, and scalable to many millions of users. What that means, these are the words that we want to look at. So fast is the product responsive? We want to make sure that it's responsive. Simple, is it easy to use? As you saw our search engine, it's quite easy. You just input a job title and the location, and you would get a result of the different jobs. Comprehensive, does it solve problems for real users? Relevant, will it solve my specific need? And scalable, is it built to run for millions of users simultaneously? So this is a little bit about our product, and the type of products that we have is these are the things that we want to answer, and these are the things that we want to achieve. And last but not least, our engineering, how engineering works for individuals. So you as an individual, we value and emphasize challenge and career growth. We want to give you, if you do join us in Indeed, a challenge and to grow your career, not just as an engineer, but within the company. Here, we challenge our employees to design simple solutions, make an impact, which you will on a global level, uh, collaborate with the team. It's not just individual work, but also teamwork, which is very important for us, and drive work to completion, making sure we meet that goal. And last but not least, to innovate. Innovation is very important for us. We value creativity as well. We want your ideas, and we want to know what your ideas are. So we hope that you can bring that to Indeed as well. For career growth, we want you to build your career at Indeed. So what that means is you may join us someday as a software developer, for example. But if you find that your passion is in data science, which we do have two speakers today, we would help you to, move into that space if that's something you're passionate about. So there's a lot of opportunity within Indeed itself. We want you to grow your ownership and impact, not just in your skills, but in other fields as well, if that's what you want to do. Take on new technical challenges, develop and learn new skills, both technically and professionally, and of course, learn from and teach your colleagues. It's a lot of supporting each other. So that's what you can expect at Indeed. And how do we promote growth? For the new hires and new employees, we provide mentorship. We have an onboarding program, and importantly, we have Indeed University. Indeed University is a online onboarding program that we offer to new hires. It's similar to like a kind of a workshop. For 3 months, you'll be working and developing a new product. If that new product takes off, you'll be, working on it furthermore into the start of your career. And if it doesn't move on, you'll be moved to a different team and working on different projects. So there's a lot of positive direction either way. And then as you continue your life at Indeed, all engineers have the opportunity for growth. We have the Incubator, which is similar to Indeed University, but you get to challenge yourself to bring in new products to the table if you're feeling creative. We do have hackathons and internal mobilities, as I mentioned earlier, changing within different departments based on your interests. So there's a lot of flexibility there. So now let's take a time to hear from some of the people that joined us today. First, we're going to hear from Kenrick. So he's going to talk a little bit about software engineering at Indeed. Kenrick, do you want to take over?
Sure, thank you so much. So yeah, I'm Kenrick and I'm a software engineer at Indeed. And today I want to talk mainly about two things, working life at Indeed, and then the second one is tips for a success interview. So working life at Indeed, this is mainly software engineer working life. If I have to choose, I want to share one of the good cultures at Indeed that I feel it's very good and what makes me love working at Indeed. It's about obligation and opportunities. So being responsible is a good thing, and we want to encourage people to be responsible. As a software engineer, what does it mean is when we deliver a product features to production environment, we want to ensure that everything works fine on production. When we write the code, we want to have the high quality code, less bug, less maintenance, and so on and so forth. When designing a system, we want to have like a strong argument on our decision that we can be responsible for, and so on and so forth. However, the thing here is how we encourage people to be responsible. I think the approach is a little bit different from company to company. Some company, the manager assign the responsibility to the team and to the engineers, and Actually, at Indeed, we also do assign responsibility to the engineer sometimes, but it's not our core value at Indeed. However, instead, Indeed use an opportunity-driven model where instead of assigning the responsibility, the managers try to provide and let the engineers know there are these opportunities, there are these problems uh, that is important that we need to solve, and then the engineers uh, pick up the problems that they are interested at and then try to solve the problem. So the culture at Indeed is we want to motivate engineers to be high individual ownership, where engineers want to own a problem that they want to solve, and we want to also empower people to pick up the opportunity that has the most impact, because there will be many opportunities, but we want to prioritize them based on the impact to the company. And at Indeed, like the motto that Nino mentioned, we want to help people get jobs. So we want to prioritize them based on how we help the job seeker get the jobs. There's actually a blog post, engineering blog post that talk a lot about this obligation and opportunity in more detail. I encourage people to check the blog post and read it in your free time. You can scan this QR code, or I can also share it in the Zoom chat for the link. So beside the working culture, what is it like the typical day that normally I work at Indeed? So as a software engineer, we will go through the software development life cycle, the SDLC. There's a problem, we want to clarify the requirement of the problem. We design a solution to solve it, implement the solution by coding out, making a software to do that, do the deployment testing, do the deployment, and so on and so forth. I put two of them, coding and design, because it's mainly what I am doing as a software engineer right now at my team. But it's not limited to only these two tasks. This testing and deployment will also be part of the major task. The next one is planning. Currently at my team, I found a good problem with a big impact to solve. So currently I'm planning, clarifying the requirements, what is the problem looks like, how I solve it, is it feasible or not, break down it into multiple milestones, break down its milestone into multiple tasks so I can share it, work on it iteratively, and so on and so forth. And lastly is on mentorship. In my team, we hire a lot of new engineers, and currently I'm mentoring one new hire. So that's typically what I'm doing in one day. It's not limited to this. Some others like operational tasks, reviewing other people work, and so on and so forth, but mainly these three tasks. So next slide, please. Tips on getting hired at Indeed. If I have to give a tip on a success interview, like I mentioned previously, we want to encourage people to take an ownership, look for an opportunity, and solve the problems. It can only work if not only people want to take the opportunities, but they actually have the skill to actually solve the problem. So the first attribute is having a strong problem-solving skill. Given a new problems, we want to assess how the candidate analyze and solve the problems. Typically in new hire interviews, this will be a whiteboard interview. In a whiteboard, there will be a lot of questions surrounding data structures and algorithm questions. So my tips is practice a lot on the data structure and algorithm question, have a good understanding to solve it. The next one is communication skill. Because a different approach on just what I mentioned, how we encourage people to take responsibility instead of just waiting for the manager to assign the job. If people take the responsibility and want to solve the problem, they need to communicate to a lot of people, clarifying the problems, clarifying the question, clarifying the priority of the task, and so on and so forth. this will be also one of the key aspects in the interview. We want to assess how easy later on if I work with the candidate. So my tips is practice a lot of mock interviews. This will be part of every interviews. Either it is a whiteboard interview or a resume deep dive interview. Having a good communication skill can be reflected by when I talk to the candidate, I give the problem, can the candidate understand the problem? When they want to tell the solution, how easy it is for me to understand the solution, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I think having these two tips is an important tips on getting hired at Indeed. So I think that's all from my side.
Okay, thank you, Kenrick, for sharing that information. The next person that we'd like to invite to speak today is Marcin. He's a senior data scientist here at Indeed. He'll be sharing more about data science and product science. Over to you.
Okay, so thanks for having me have this chance to introduce the data scientists in data science in Indeed. So yeah, let's move forward to the next slide. So why we have data science in Indeed is like just like we previously have mentioned that how Indeed make money is by help people landing their dream jobs. So the more people we have, we match the jobs with the job seeker, then that will profit Indeed the more. So, but we only have certain amount of active user and they only have certain amount of attention every day in Indeed. So how do we optimize this process and make every impression count and try our best to convert every impression into apply. That's why we need data scientists to improve this process. So as Indeed this product, although many people might only know that Indeed have a search, but actually we have a lot of branching product, and all of them is getting larger and larger and more and more complex these years. So when we are deciding how we are going to evolve our next generation product, we will need a lot of scientific methodology to investigate the data and decide what's our next step and whether we should ship this feature, whether we should roll up something, or whether some new feature is actually improving on the wrong direction and we have to roll down them. So that's basically the mission of about data science in Indeed. And also because we have thousands of engineers in Indeed across the world, but currently I think for the scientists, we only have like no more than 200 people. Well, we are hiring aggressively these years, because like 4 years ago, we only have around 50 folks or 50 scientists. So it's been more than tripled in 4 years. So, and we are currently also actively hiring, doing a lot of interviews. But note that it is tricky because scientists' roles are relatively new. In this it's actually a new job. Like we in last 5 years, and it's confusing about the job context because every company making up new titles, and they define their own corresponding job context about this title. So basically, this is a slide about how we explain the job context of each title. So from the left-hand side, it's more about engineering implementation, and the right-hand side is more about analytical scientist task. And in Indeed Science, we have two main roles, which is one is data scientist and one is product scientist. So their skill set spectrum is like this. The product scientist is maybe in the purple, the purple distribution, and data scientist in the rightmost one, green distribution. So product scientist is more like maybe for Indeed our product scientist is more similar to the business intelligence or data scientist role in other companies. And our data scientist roles is very linked to engineering, and it's my called machine learning engineer in other companies. But actually, once you join Indeed, it's okay to switch between roles, or even you could just still having a data scientist role, but doing other role job like product scientist, or even just if you really like implementing things, you could do a lot of engineering job. But actually you will, because data scientists also have to sometimes build data pipeline, collect data, this kind of engineering work. So that's roughly about that. And let's move to the next slide. Thanks. So there are, let's roughly split the skills of data scientists and product scientists. Let's focus on these two roles. So both of these roles will have 4 kinds of dimensions, the 4 kinds of skill sets. So product development is about finding the new chance, finding the opportunity, or evaluate the experiment result. Like when we roll out a new feature, we will gradually like roll up them like 1%, 5%, 10%, and 50%, and ultimately full 100%. And so this is about product development. So product scientists will lead this kind of experiment to decide whether we should, what kind of feature we should build next, and it's kind of actually the traditional product manager role. But product manager are they are lacking of the scientific methodology and like statistical knowledge to make decisions scientifically. So that's why we have product scientists to help product managers. So product development is a almost most important skill for product scientist role. And to do scientific to do those analyses scientifically, product scientists will have a solid math and statistic knowledge training. So, and as for data scientists is kind of like, because we have a lot of machine learning models too, because we are search engine first, so we have ranking models, and we are going to have a lot of models about matching the resume and the jobs, and or we also we have company reviews, so we have models like deciding whether this review is toxic, we should remove them. Yeah, there are, as far as I recall, we already have like thousands of models online in Indeed. So those are all data scientists' responsibility to maintain and keep improving or develop new models about it. So for data scientists, we have to, our main skill set is machine learning, and we also take responsibility on working with software engineers to make this model online. So we also have to have software engineering skill sets. So machine learning for data scientist role, machine learning and software engineering skill is your main core skill set. But you also have to have product development and math and statistics knowledge, because after you implement those things, you have to work with product scientists to gradually roll them up and analyze your experiment result to prove that your new algorithm, your new model do improve this product. Yeah, let's go to the next slide. So I think this is the final slide. So, well, because I'm data scientist, so I will focus on how to interview for data scientist role. But actually, the product scientist role also have well, basically it's still the same. These 4 skill sets. It's just that data scientists will weight more on machine learning and software engineering, and product scientists will weight more on statistic math and technical communication, because like we previously mentioned, product scientist is going to help product manager, and product manager will report the result to our conclusion to our senior leadership. So that's why you are the bridge between technical folks and senior leadership or product folks. So those people didn't have solid technical details, and they don't have time to get those dive into those details. So you have to transfer the technical results into the brief conclusion that product people could understand. Yeah, that's why we also emphasize the technical communication about this. Yeah, so that's also basically aligned with how we evaluate in our on-site interview. Yeah, so basically both the data science and product science start with a phone screen that data scientists will focus on software engineering and machine learning, and the product scientists will have some query, statistical question, and maybe some question about product. Yeah, and so note that although we these four kinds of dimension, it might be very cumbersome because you have to learn a lot of things, and that's way much more than most of people cannot really master all of these things. So like so that's why we have two kinds of roles, that if you are interviewing for data science roles, but you are not that good at statistical knowledge and math, then that's fine. You don't have to good at everything. We usually allow you you could be weak on one dimension, but strong in all the others, strong or above average in all the others, then you could still get the higher. You might still have a good chance to get the offer. Yeah, and also because after all we are working on real product, so we hope you to have hand-in experience on real project or in your school, or if possible, the best is that if you have some intern experience and really have experience on how a product evolve. So be prepared that usually our on-site interview for both DS and PS interview, there will be a session is really ask you to do, like give you 60 to 90 minutes to have you finish a mini project. So many people, when they preparing for interview, they just Google for all kinds of questions and good at answering this question, or or implement a simple formula. But note that for DSPS, we also want you to do a mini project. So yeah, try to find some try to find some opportunity to ask yourself to really build a mini product. That will help a lot on this kind of session. Yeah, that's basically all. Yeah, thanks.
All right, thank you, Marcin. And again, thank you, Kenrick, for sharing some information about what you've been doing at Indeed. Yes, so I think Kenrick and Marcin briefly talked a little bit about application. So here is a slide, a little bit about what the process looks like on a higher level. Basically, you may visit our website. I will share with you more details at the end of this presentation, but you would be submitting your resume or application through the career portal site. We have a dedicated university career site. And then the first part of the process starts with an online assessment. Whether you are interested in the data science or product science or software engineering roles, we do have an online assessment that we will share more information and guide you through. And then following that, after passing the online assessment, you would be doing on-site interviews with Indeed. By on-site, we mean virtual interviews right now, since we are located in Japan, but you are going to be able to connect virtually and meet people from Indeed in this on-site interview round. Depending on the role, there's 3 to 4 interviews for each role. And once you do well, and we hope that you pass, we would be able to extend an offer. And because we are reaching out to you, we do offer visa sponsorship and relocation. So any successful candidate would be offered that if they are interested in joining us here at Indeed Japan. So what's in it for you? Basically, this is just a summary of the different types of things you can expect. Global tech exposure and impact. Although we are Indeed Japan, our projects that Indeed works on, even in this office, impact our global, the global scale. All your contribution will be seen on globally, not just for Indeed Japan, but around the world. Mentorship and networking. Whether you join as a new graduate, you'll grow into mentoring, getting mentorship from your peers, but then in the future be mentoring future employees as well, whether they're interns or new hires. And of course, networking with other scientists and engineers and other colleagues to expand your social situation. And then strong work-life balance and culture. We have a very good work culture at Indeed. We value kind of balancing your personal life and your work life, and we make sure that happens. We do have benefits that I will share later on to explain that. Of course, learning and growth. You will be learning and learning everything, something new every day, and growing yourself in your skills. And last but not least, attractive employee benefits such as open leave policy, medical benefits, insurance from Japan, and free meals in the office daily. Next slide. So here's just a little bit about what's life like at Indeed Japan. Although we are in Japan, we do have many different Indeedians. That's what we like to call ourselves, from different countries and backgrounds working together in our Tokyo office. Although it is Japan, you'll meet Japanese people, non-Japanese people, different types of backgrounds. And it'll be a big cultural experience. And of course, we have 4 offices in Tokyo. 2 of the tech offices are tech offices, so you'd be working in either one of them. As mentioned, we do serve breakfast and lunch daily, so we take care of you for food, and so that you can comfortably do your job. And we also have fun. We have social events and activities, as you can see in the pictures. Here's a little more about our environment. So here we have one of our teams. This is our Tamachi office. And basically, that we serve food. People are always gathering, whether if it's for social or for a work event. There's a chance to just get together with colleagues virtually and in person. Yes, so this is just a little bit about that. And last but not least, as I shared, you can learn more about the roles that we have at university.indeed.jobs. If you also scan this QR code, you are able to see our open roles. You may also visit the website just to get a preview of what it's like. There are different blogs and posts about our company, the experience that other employees have, and tips about interviewing as well. So below are the positions that we are hiring for right now. We are hiring for university graduates in 2023. So if you are graduating and interested in Indeed and interested in relocating to Tokyo, these are the positions that we are looking for. So feel free to apply, and one of our recruiters will be able to connect with you and share more details. All right, so that brings us to the end of our presentation. We have about 20 minutes or so. We'd love to hear your questions and answer some of them. I see that we have some questions already. let's look at that. Great. So we have one question. I would like to ask about recruitment. Is there any possibility for me who graduated as a civil engineering graduate, am I able to apply for Indeed Japan? The answer is yes. So we are, we celebrate diversity in the company, not just, your ethnic background or your gender, but also people from different educational backgrounds as well. So, we do welcome other people, from different educations to apply if they are interested. Great. Another question we have, are there also vacancy of BI analyst that is available for ITB graduates? I believe Ms. Kawai is going to answer this question live. Or not? Yeah.
I think maybe she just miscollected. Yeah.
Yes. So to answer your question, whoever answered, thank you very much for that question. We do not have business analyst roles for the university graduate position. We do have them at Indeed at an industry level. You may check our Indeed.jobs page for that, but unfortunately for the university side, we are not hiring for that. Yes. The next question, can we also apply for the product scientist role? Yes, you may. If you visit our university.indeed.jobs, you would be able to see the university product scientist role. Can I join this company if my major is not linear with the requirement? Yes, so as I think similar to a previous question, you may apply for a role within Indeed even if you do not have a computer science major or whatnot. You may, as long as you pass the assessment and go through the interview process with us, we are happy to welcome you to apply. Next question. If I am graduating from chemistry, but with experience of SQL, Python, and data analyst, can I apply as well? Yes, you can. So again, any background is welcome. If you have experience in coding languages such as Python, some of our engineers do have that. Kenrick, do you want to answer anything related to that in terms of software engineering?
Yes, sure. So this is the question on the vacancy for full stack or backend and front end. So for the job itself, I think it will depend on the job openings. But the short answer is yes, there is full stack open position. There's only back end position. There's front end only position also. So yeah, it will be depend on the job opening.
Great, thank you. And then the next question I see, are you hiring for 2022 graduate for full stack development? Also, I have JLPT N4. That's great that you can speak Japanese. Unfortunately for this question, we are not hiring for 2022 anymore. We have filled this role. It's possible in the future we may have early career roles, not at the moment, but please continue to check our website. And just to share, our company language is going to be English, and even if you speak Japanese, that's great. We do have many Japanese speakers, and you can use Japanese in the company. But the company language and interviewing languages are going to be in English. Great. Let's go to the next question. I am from academia is having Scopus research paper good for data scientist. Marcin, do you want to answer this question?
Okay, sure. I think that depends on how you define good for. If you mean apply for data scientist role, sure, you could still apply for. And how it works is like that if our coordinator thinks that your experience is relevant, then maybe you could get a chance to do the interview. But as for whether you could pass the interview, that is totally up to your skill set. We will usually, I mean, if most of the companies nowadays are more focused on how you perform in interview rather than what you write in your resume. And usually in our debrief section, we will not encourage people to focus too much on the resume, because the resume is like they are pretty objective. Yeah. But I think having a research paper maybe will help you to gain some impression on coordinator and or HR.
Great, thank you. We have a question. I graduated last year, have experience as a data scientist already. Can I still apply? Unfortunately for this role, we do have a requirement for you to be a student or to be graduating next year. However, as I shared, we do have industry roles that you are welcome to apply for. And once those roles are open, you may apply for that. And is there any age requirement or restrictions? We do not have any age requirement or restriction where we're open to hiring anybody. But if you are experienced, it would be considered an industry hire rather than a university graduate hire. Great. Next question, is it okay to apply with experience less than 2 years? Yes. So as a student, you may apply for a university graduate role. If you have some experience, you are welcome to apply to an industry hire role. How long usually is the recruitment process? From start to finish, you can, depending on your availability and interviewer availability, it would take about 3 to 4 weeks. Is there in a university or college in Indeed? We do not have a university or college in Indeed. As of right now, I'm planning to graduate in 2024. Can I apply for this position? Unfortunately, we are looking for 2023 right now, but if you are graduating, it's good to get started on learning more about our company and what roles you'd like to apply for. You can start applying for the roles, up to a year in advance. So probably sometime next year, we may already open our roles for 2024. So you may apply then. How many people will be hired for each position? So we do not have, we don't release the headcount, but we are actively hiring, as Marcin shared in his presentation, that we are aggressively hiring. We are growing as a company, so please apply, and hopefully we can welcome you at Indeed. The next question, can I apply for a job before graduation? Yes, you may. We recommend that you do, especially because we do offer successful candidates relocation and visa sponsorship, and that will take some time. So the earlier the better. But if you are graduating in 2024 or later, you may apply next year. We are currently looking for 2023. If I graduated in 2022, can I still apply for the university graduate 2023 position? For this question, this is a good question. Jerry, do you want to answer this one? How you...
Yes, sorry, what was the question again?
Yes, if I graduated in 2022, can I still apply for the university role 2023?
I think if you don't have like any working experience, I think you can. But if you do, please, apply for our industry role. And yeah, and I think the earliest onboarding time is January of 2023. So yeah, I think the answer is yes.
Great, thank you very much. Can I apply? See here, next question. Will there be any aid in learning Japanese after joining Indeed, or Indeed you only use English? Although the company language is English, we have colleagues that do speak Japanese. You will also be able to join communities that of Japanese speakers if you are interested in learning. And of course, our Indeed Japan, because it is a Japan office, we do offer support for any language related help that we can give you. Although unfortunately we do not offer language support as a benefit, you can easily find language classes within Indeed. We have employees who are taking Japanese lessons because they are interested in speaking. So that's something we may have in the future, but at the moment we do not. Next question. For experienced roles, do you support relocation? Yes, we do. So for any successful applicant that is overseas, we do offer a relocation package for them to come to Japan. Great. Next question. Is there a job offer for internships for those graduating 2024 and 2025? We do have internships, but unfortunately, we do not sponsor short-term visas for internships in Japan at the moment. If we do decide to do that in the future, you would be able to see that on our job listing. So please continue to check our website and see what openings are there. Great. Next question. What is the average time from first applying to Indeed's career page until contacted if matched? Generally, within a week or so, we would reach out to you for the next steps. Whether or not you match or you do not match, you will hear from us. So we will let you know the status of your application. Great. Next question. I want to follow up with my question about software engineering vacancy. I want to ask about software development engineer 2023 in Tokyo. For this vacancy, is it a full stack engineer position? We are looking for any front end, back end, and full stack. So it's open to all types of engineers. So please apply if you are interested. Where can I find the industry hire application link? So if you go to indeed.jobs, you may find our industry roles there. University.indeed.jobs is university roles. But if for industry, again, it's indeed.jobs. Great. I believe that's all the questions that we have. We have about 5 minutes left. So if anyone has any last minute questions, we can ask. Great. Another question. Is this job open to master's and PhD students? Yes, we are. These roles are open to anyone who's in an educational institution, whether they are pursuing bachelor's, master's, or PhD. Is there a job offering in design related roles? Yes, so we do have some UX designer and developer roles that may be open in the future. Please continue to check our university careers site to see if you fit for the role. But we do have that, and indeed in Japan we have design roles. All right, we have about 4 minutes. Oh, we have one more question. Regarding recruitment, it's impossible for any graduate to apply for this job with different backgrounds. What should we prepare when we have faced with on-site interview with no background in coding, etc. So for if you are applying for a software engineering or a data science role or even product scientist role, there will be an assessment to test your kind of coding capabilities as well. So just a heads up. We do require coding, for these roles. The assessments will be able to kind of give you a preview of what you can expect for the job. Our coding or our online assessments are basically mini versions of our on-site interviews, if that makes any sense. You'll get a preview of that. So, but if you do move on to the on-site interview rounds, really think about, as Kendrick mentioned, data structures, algorithms, anything that you've learned in your coding or experience. Right, we have about 2 minutes left, I believe. Feel free to ring in any last questions if you have any. Last question we received, is there any Indonesian employee on Indeed Japan right now? Kenrick, do you want to answer this question?
I guess I'm one of the example. I'm also from Indonesia. And I believe there also, I'm not the only one. Another Indonesian friend also work at Indeed. So yeah, couple of Indonesians.
Yes. And we have an Indonesian employee joining us next year as well. All right, I believe that is time. We had some last questions. These are the last two. What type of products that Indeed developed? Our main product is the search engine, but Kenrick, if you want to answer that as well.
Sure. So Indeed as a company is divided mainly in 5 different product lines. I would say one is the job search. The other one that I'm working on is enterprise, specifically on advertisement. The other one is creating an internal tools that will be used in different teams at Indeed. I think this information we can find later on also in the Indeed engineering blog. But yeah, the main one is the job search. The other one is advertisement, and other one is probably internal tools. I hope I answered the question.
Great. All right. Well, thank you everybody for the time. I hope that you found this session useful. Again, feel free to apply for any roles. And we hope to speak with you soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kendrick, Mr. Marsan, and Mr. Nino. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you being here. Thanks again for joining us today, and we will see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.